Yo, what's going on? So, I'm recording this video basically to document some exploration of AUTO-GPT. My intention here with this is to just dive into the files, kind of try to understand exactly how the software works as of today, and ultimately get it to work at an acceptable quality. Because so far, as I've played with it, like it works, but how do I actually dive into using all the commands, and how do I dive into actually getting this thing to output what I want it to output? So essentially, I'm going to go through this, I'm going to record it, and then hopefully someone gets to watch it and they can learn from this, and at the same time, they can also uh, just kind of go through it with me, basically. So I would like to get to know how to use this tool so that I can help others get to know how to use this tool, because it is a new tool. It's, if you don't know about it, it's called AUTO-GPT. About a month ago, it got a good amount of hype. Um, it's an open source code base that allows you to plug into OpenAI's API, so you can use their GPT models. With this, you can use GPT 3.5 and GPT 4, and essentially, it's a good amount of Python code, and it is supposed to um, be an AI agent, or at least that's what they said it was supposed to be. So the other thing to acknowledge about AutoGPT is that it's an experiment, and the creator has open sourced it, and a lot of people have jumped on to developing it, and now it's really taking a life of its own. And there's a lot of real-time feedback, and there's a lot of devs from across the world that are contributing to the code base to improve the product. And ultimately, right now, pretty much in order to use it, you have to have some kind of um, code skills. You need to be familiar with Python, at least at a beginner level. They are planning to release a user interface, a graphic user interface, and you can get on the waitlist for that now, as of May 1st at least. But in the meantime, I think it's a pretty cool place to learn also and do some real time open source product building with other developers, and jumping into their Discord. It seems like there's a good amount of community being built in there, and personalities that are in there. By the way, I haven't been recording videos in a long time, so the funny thing to me is that the first video that I come back to record, I'm rocking a mustache. A little backstory on that: I just went to go see Super Mario Brothers with my youngest this weekend, and it was a great movie. I loved it. He thought it was awesome. The graphics were awesome. Computer graphics were awesome. Sound was awesome. Storyline was awesome. And I came out of it and I was like, "Yo, I want to be I want to be Mario." So I'm rocking the Mario mustache. But anyways, yeah. So I'm gonna dive into it here, and hopefully, learn something. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the AutoGPT folder, and basically this is the software folder. Okay, so in here you have your Python files, and these files are what run the program. So let's see, let's go into this one, init.py. Nothing there yet. Main.py. Yeah, there's still some things that I myself am investigating. I haven't used Docker yet, so this is a good kind of project for me to get familiar with it. And let me see. see. I think a lot of this is built for Docker, to be honest. Well, I'm going to be running it locally for now until I get up to speed on Docker. Commands. So this is important in here. Commands. Okay, so PyCache. What do we got here? Anything? Nothing yet. Code evaluation from future annotations. A function that takes in a string and returns a response from create chat completion API call. Parameters, code to be evaluated returns a string from create a chat completion, a list of suggestions to improve the code. Function equals string. Okay, so I guess this is the function for passing in code to analyze. Read audio from file. Yeah, I think this is really cool, and it's really interesting to me, the whole that it reads back to you, changing the kind of the interface of how an end user interfaces with this API or this AI software. So that's pretty cool. And I have something in mind in the back of my head that I want to build that would incorporate a mainly, audio format interface. Cool. Yeah, here's more Docker. So, yeah, I still have to get familiar with Docker because I haven't played around with it, but let's see. This looks like this is what I like about this project is some of the problems that are still open to solve. That's cool. Use the cool. Yeah, opportunities to learn and get better at building products is pretty much my main motivation here. Second motivation is learning how to use the product as is and then teaching others how to use it. Because I think that something like this is the beginning, it's the very beginning of interesting, not seen before products. Because right now you're seeing a lot of copycat kind of products come to market. And a lot of them, this is just part of the hype cycle. A lot of them, I shouldn't even call it the hype cycle. It's like the innovation cycle. A lot of these products, they're just copycats of other products, and already through this innovation you have seen how a good amount of them have become obsolete relatively quickly. But I think that it's good to put capital to work, because as capital goes to work and these lessons are being learned, other teams benefit from those lessons, and even new products come to mind and pivots get to happen, and with capital working, innovation gets to come to the surface, and that's just a benefit to end users and customers and society. So yeah, it's cool. Anyways, so let me go back up here. This looks like cool. So these are some functions aiming to do further automation. Yeah, so this is interesting too. So there's some functions here that read files and ingest files, which is great, so that the LLM, which stands for large language model, can go ahead and parse through that, understand it, and try to make sense of it in terms of outputting a prompt. And in this case, a next action. This is important because it starts to create context to what you're asking it to solve. Cool. Google search.py. This is interesting. Google search command. Return the results of a Google search. That's a very short function. Oh, my bad. My computer just was freezing up. Google search. Return results of a Google search. Query. Increase, on a daily basis, which is cool. Not for everything, but for specific things. Right now, I'm thinking that research is probably the best application for this. Pretty basic. Image generation. So here looks like you can use DALL-E, Hugging Face, SD Web UI to generate image. Cool. I do need to dive into Hugging Face more. Generate an image with DALL-E. Yeah, again, this could potentially, with a set of prompts, generate content in the form of an email with images, or a blog post, or even website content, honestly, more static and generate image, stable diffusion. Yeah, so what's cool about AUTO-GPT is, as a quote-unquote agent, it's plugging into different AIs through their APIs and bringing them together to help create things automatically faster, which I think is cool. From the future. A function that takes in code and suggests and returns a response from create chat completion API call. That's cool. Basically like a coding assistant. This function helps you with that. Get date and time, that might be important. Oh, this is new, the twitter.py. Okay. Yeah. So this is something I've been seeing is that I think this is like a great use case for something like this. Is it's just like a it's basically a Twitter bot on steroids. This is plugging into the API, and as of right now, the Twitter API has changed. So before it would have been even better, where you could use Twitter's endpoints to ingest conversations from Twitter into this, because I think that would be really powerful in terms of real time insights. But now it looks like basically, hey, maybe that's something to expand on. Actually, like that's a thought, to maybe build a plugin for this that allows you to ingest some of that data. That might be cool and get some insights. But anyways, yeah, this basically allows you to post on Twitter using their API. Playwright. Okay, interesting. Okay, beautiful soup. So this is for web scraping essentially, which is great. More or less, it allows the agent to go out using Google and read web pages, ingest that, and then draw new insights, and allows it to reprompt itself from what it's already learned. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, again, like, even with something like this, like, you kind of need to have some basic understanding of some of these other Python packages to truly fully leverage AUTO-GPT for right now. Which again is why I wanted to explore this and really just learn as much as I can on how to use it, so that as I think up of problems or potential improvements, I can help implement them, but also just jumping into the Discord and sharing those ideas as well as I'm using this thing, and going through the code base, and then hopefully getting to a point where I'm pretty proficient at using it, and can help others become proficient using it as well. Now they are talking about releasing their GUI, which is their graphic user interface, just basically a front end for non-technical users to be able to use the tool. But even with that, I still think for right now, being able to use it from the back end without having that kind of wall as to like what's going on, is really powerful in terms of really understanding the ins and outs of how to use this thing. Because who knows, maybe someday you don't have as much visibility to how the product actually works, and imagine being able to use Instagram as it was evolving and being built. You would be a power user, and you would be able to grow audience and build brands relatively quickly, and even help others do that. So I don't know, it just seems like a really good opportunity. Okay, cool. Yeah, so for now, I think that's pretty interesting. Maybe super boring watching me do this, but again, I've already kind of seen that there are some additional topics to explore, right, in terms of using this. Also, another thing to note is that this is the AUTO-GPT version 0.2.2, and on the repository there's a master branch that's, I guess, being worked on relatively frequently, and sometimes this thing breaks, so you have to like use it while it works, and then configure it to fully use it, and then if it breaks, you have to figure out why it broke and how to reconfigure it. So yeah, it's definitely time consuming and it's a hassle for sure. But that's why I'm taking it on. So for now, I'm gonna end it there. I definitely feel like there's definitely, just by going through this, there is definitely some additional learnings that come to mind, right? So, even just like like for example, with Selenium and the Chrome, uh, automated web browsing, there's some configuration that needs to be done there in order to fully leverage it here. So things like that, I'll probably break most of it down. Right now I'm just recording. I'll probably break most of this down, video, edit it, and then yeah, I'm excited to kind of see like how this comes out. So cool. Thanks for being here. I'll see you soon.